Not bad for a librarian. Perhaps you should have spent more time in the pit.
And perhaps you should have spent more time in the library.
Bra weep grana weep ninibong YouTube. RedWhiteandBluestreak here with my 5th Transformers figure review. And as you can tell, we're not in my sound booth closet today. Decided to sit down at the desk. It's kind of nice, you know, get a nice little space where I can like talk with my hands, you know, look at the script over here. Maybe foreshadow the next review or something, you know, over on my desk. I don't know, maybe. But this time we're taking a look at the Newage H48.
Maschinenmensch.
Which literally translates to machine person from German, if anybody was wondering. So it's no secret that DX9 and Newage are two in the same, or one in the same, or however that saying goes. In any case, Maschinenmensch is Newage / DX9's second take at a legend scale Arcee. The same way that H44 is their second take on a legend scale Grimlock. Review coming soon, hopefully. Despite not being my favorite figure from this recent shipment from Big Bad Toy Store, Maschinenmensch was probably my most anticipated figure I ordered. Mainly because, in my personal opinion, this is the best Arcee on the market. Hasbro and Takara, I've got some words for you, but we'll get into that in a minute. Because this figure surprisingly doesn't come in the typical Newage packaging, at least what's considered typical nowadays by Newage's standards. I wonder if the repaints and remolds come in the same style box. Maschinenmensch comes in this small box that's very reminiscent of their early releases. Windowless animation style art instead of the faux G1 toy render, with lots of different text decorating the box, probably meant to scare Hasbro and Takara away, and a scene on the back, but with their glossy finish that they tend to have on a lot of their boxes nowadays. Now this box is small. Like, I know this is a Legends figure, but this thing is so much smaller than I thought it. The figure comes in a clear tray with her accessories packaged in vehicle mode. This vehicle mode looks about as spot on as I could want an Arcee car mode to look. Less like a literal bar of soap and more like a sleek futuristic space car. The glossy paint finish just serves to further enhance the premium feeling of this figure. It also cleans up from most angles, except for the bottom of course, but at least it looks better than... I mean, this at least looks like it transforms, which it does. Instead of looking like the stashed away body of the latest in the string of murders surrounding the family restaurant Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. It even has a really nicely sculpted console area. Now the vehicle mode doesn't roll that well, but neither does my bar of Irish Springs here. So I mean, you know, with that aside, this vehicle mode looks and feels remarkable. Especially next to other 86 movie characters. Now one thing I will give good old Dove here is that the figure actually had weapon storage, whereas for Maschinenmensch, I'm using yet another tiny Ziploc bag. But that's all you get, you glorified bar of soap. Because everything else, including the transformation, is ultimately superior. First, you're going to want to undo this latch at the back. Then go ahead and unfold the legs. Go ahead and untuck the head from underneath the chest at the bottom. And after changing out the bandage on your finger, go ahead and untab the front sections of the car from the center part. Grab the arms and pull the chest section out. Then take the sides of the car and the windshield and fold them back on that hinge. Now this looks like a mess, but bear with me, it all cleans up in the end. First, go ahead and bring the head together. It's a little hard to see, but you're going to go ahead and fold the hood back on itself. Then take that whole assembly and turn it around. Then take the sides of the car and fold them back forward. Don't move the windshield though. Then go ahead and tab the chest into the torso. Then take these small sections on the sides of the car and fold them in. Then push these parts up on this tiny slider here. There's a little slot for a little tab there that'll go ahead and lock things into place. Then fold those fin sections over to finish cleaning up the backpack. Push the hip sections up into the rest of the waist. Separate the legs and fold that tab back. Then rotate the foot around and push the heel forward on that slider. Sweet baby Primus, that's a wonderful transformation. The transformation is enjoyable and intuitive, and everything folds away and cleans up nicely for one of the most clean Arcee robot modes I've ever seen. And that leg transformation is absolutely genius! And that's not even mentioning that the figure doesn't look like it's trying to haul an entire car on its back! Hasbro! Takara! Come on, man! How does a Legends figure beat out your masterpiece? And that's not even mentioning this crime against humanity! There's a whole car on there. Bashing Hasbro aside, this figure is absolutely amazing. If you couldn't already tell, this thing is getting a full recommendation from me already. The colors are just right, and all the little details, from the little sculpting on the arms and waist to the insanely accurate face sculpt, are absolutely insane. Speaking of little details, 60TF on Twitter pointed out something that I never would have noticed or even thought to try. So basically it's mentioned in the little design notes for G1 Arcee that she has little magnets on the bottom of her feet to help her stand and balance. Now no official or third-party Arcee does this, so there's no possible way that... Huh? Why? That wasn't necessary at all! I mean, now you're just spitting in the face of Hasbro, and I certainly ain't mad at it. Like the box says, girls get it done. Like, I mean, who even has a display with a metal surface? This figure ain't the best with standing, but if you got one of those, this thing ain't falling down anywhere anytime soon. Thanks 60 for posting about that. I honestly never would have thought about that otherwise. That little detail just elevated this figure that much more, because you can't tell me they didn't put those there for that reason. Now, enough gushing about the feet, let's talk accessories. Maschinenmensch comes with a good amount of guns here. Her signature pistol, a pink rifle, which, funny thing, apparently according to Magic the Gathering, Arcee's a sharpshooter. She comes with no hands out of the box, but she has 2 open hands and 2 fists to hold the guns. She also has a removable face, which is for the alternate visor face that you get with this figure, which certainly ain't a common thing for Newage. And actually, I don't recall them ever doing this in the past with any of their figures, so good for you, Arcee. That out of the way, I think we can move right on to articulation. The head's on a ball joint and can look up that far and down, not quite that far. The arms can move up to about there, and out to the side all the way. There is a bicep swivel and a very fragile wrist swivel, so be careful about that. Otherwise it'll unpeg the hand. There is a waist swivel, and there's an ab crunch, thanks to a cut there in the waist section. The legs can go out all the way for full splits, and they can go forward and backward about that much. There is a thigh swivel. Something really cool here with how the legs are engineered, there's actually technically a triple hinge bend here at the leg. I've never quite seen anything like that before, and it's really cool. And of course there's a ball joint at the ankle, allowing for all kinds of articulation there. So not only are the paint and sculpting spot on, not only are there all sorts of insane details all around the figure, some of which have never been seen on any other Arcee figure to my knowledge, and not only is the transformation a literal godsend to fembots everywhere, but you can get this figure in virtually any pose you want. Look, I'm not sure why I continue to waste my breath making the same points over and over again. This figure is perfect, a true masterpiece at Legend scale. The only nitpick that I have is the lack of ability to properly roll, but other than that, the figure gets a full recommendation for me. If you love Arcee, get this figure. If you have a Legends collection, get this figure. If you just want a fun desk toy that's related to Transformers, get this figure. 4.5 out of 5 will buy the repaints. I mean, I've already done that for Optimus.
You got the touch,